Tomorrow is the 7-month anniversary of the insurrection at our nation's capital. And we learned this week that a Capitol officer who survived the attack has died by suicide. There are now 4 officers involved in that dark day that have sadly taken their own lives. We must have a full accounting of this deadly attack on our democracy. Congressional hearings have begun, but here in Michigan, which was the proving ground for the insurrection, with our own state capitol serving as a dress rehearsal in April of 2020, we are not getting the answers that we deserve. House Dems and I introduced a House Concurrent Resolution 10 to create a bipartisan, bicameral investigation, a committee to investigate Michigan's role in the insurrection. Beyond the dress rehearsal of April of last year, we saw Republicans attempt to enter the Capitol building in Lansing to cast false electoral votes for Donald Trump. We need to understand the root of that action. The committee needs to understand why we have seen our Senate Majority Leader photographed with militia members who plotted to kidnap and assassinate Governor Whitmer, and these men who also took part in the insurrection. And we know that Michigan Republicans were at the rally in DC that touched off the deadly riot. We deserve to know the truth behind these events. Michiganders deserve the truth. The law enforcement officers who died defending the seat of our nation's democracy deserve to know the truth about Michigan's unique role in the lead up to the insurrection. Unfortunately, we have been unable to move our colleagues in leadership to begin this committee. Michigan's role in the insurrection is national news. I was in Washington this week advocating for the passage of the federal legislation that would protect the freedom to vote from state level attacks. We know the undermining of our democracy, the restrictions on the freedom to vote, they are coming from the same place: lies and bogus conspiracy theories and misinformation. They're coming from places where bills seeking to be solutions to problems we don't have are introduced and moving through our chambers. I'm fully committed to protecting our democracy from any kind of threat, whether it's men with assault rifles in our chambers and galleries or legislation that would infringe on Michiganders' freedom to vote. We need to have this bipartisan commission to understand how and what Michigan's unique role in the insurrection was. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Representative Joe Tate, who will discuss another tool that's being used to undermine our democracy.
Thank you, Leader Lasinski, and good morning, everyone. I'm Representative Joe Tate from the 2nd House District. Misinformation to the American people played a key role up to the insurrection on January 6th. Allies of Donald Trump were upset that their candidate lost, so they turned to false claims of election fraud. We know that this is the case because more than 250 audits have shown that Michigan's election was safe, secure, and accurate. Even the Michigan Senate Oversight Committee released a report that found no evidence of widespread or systemic fraud. We can all agree that the 2020 election was legitimate. But another thing that came out of that report was that the recommendation that Attorney General Dana Nessel investigate those who have used the big lie for monetary gain. Wrongful deception or fraud is a crime. I thoroughly support that recommendation, which the Attorney General has taken up. And that is why, along with many of my Democratic colleagues, sent a letter to AG Nessel expressing our support for her investigation. We need to restore the trust in our democratic institutions, and that starts with holding accountable those who would sow lies about our election for personal gain. We must fight for our democracy. I'm proud to stand with Leader Lasinski in standing up for our democracy, both in protecting the right to vote and protecting our institutions from those who would discredit or attack them. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Leader Lasinski.
Thank you, Rep. Tate. Respect for our democracy really shouldn't be a partisan issue. The freedom to vote is our most sacred duty in our democracy, and we all deserve free and fair elections with a peaceful transfer of power. We must protect our government from these deadly insurrections, from a deadly insurrection. When I say these, there's only been two, one in the 1800s and one just 7 months ago. I want to encourage our Republican colleagues to take up the resolution to create a truly bipartisan committee, a 50-50 split between Republicans and Democrats to find out how Michigan contributed to the insurrection and the role that lies and bogus conspiracy theories played in inciting folks. All we're asking for is the truth. We return to full session in September. We will begin our committee process again. Then I would like us to stand together and kick off the bipartisan bicameral committee to investigate Michigan's role in the insurrection. We know that a majority of Michiganders stand behind us in this desire to uncover the truth of Michigan's role. So as House Democrats, we have created a webpage where Michiganders can share that support. And so I'm asking today to every Michigander to go to housedems.com and sign and share our petition to share with our colleagues in leadership about your desire to create a joint select committee to investigate Michigan's role in the deadly insurrection. Help us show our Michigan Republican leadership that you want answers when it comes to our state's role in the insurrection. Thank you so much.